Two quick stories. First of all, Ted was all about energy. Chats asked us to bring Ted mementos around, so I looked around to see what mementos I had that could represent Ted alone. I didn't come up with any other than this, which is our Penn AC emblem. There's a lot of champions in this room. There's a lot of people who benefited from Ted. And I looked at the medals, which I was fortunate enough to win, and I thought about all of the people that I was fortunate enough to be with and to win those races with. Even when we lost, we still had an incredible sense of what was possible, and that came about through Ted. Everybody in this room, anybody, won, did what they did, lost, it didn't matter, but they were part of something bigger than themselves. They were part of something that meant something, and that was all Ted. It was energy, and Ted was all about energy. We were lucky enough to be in the place at the time when Ted met Jan. Now, there was energy because all of a sudden it went from one level to another. And we had a couple of easy practices, which was really amazing about that. So, two very quick stories about Ted. He was all about everybody else. And that was the most amazing thing about this man, and that's what he taught me. That it's not about me, it's not about him, it's about everybody else and making sure that everybody comes to their best. Okay, so here's an example. I had the great privilege of rooming with Ted, believe it or not, in Piediluco in, I think, April of 1987. And one night when I was there, trying to sleep, Ted was not there. It was easy to sleep because he was never there. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and he was there. He was on the edge of his bed getting ready to go to sleep for an hour because that's all he slept. And I said, "Where were you?" He said, "I was helping somebody." I said, "Who were you helping?" He said, "Well, we'll talk about that later." I was pretty convinced he was helping somebody defect because that's what he did. He just helped everybody to a better level of themselves. Didn't matter, he did it. Second quick story, which is relevant to that, also in 1987, we went to the Nationals. We won the Worlds the previous year. In '86, we were a pretty good crew. We brought our boat home from Nottingham. It was a beautiful boat. It was a lovely straight four. And we brought it to the Nationals in Indianapolis. Now, Ted had a competitive streak, a mile wide, obviously, and was always scheming at how to make boats go faster. So in this case, he had a unique solution to a heavyweight problem, which was the coxswain. Now, he entered us in two events, the Cox 4 and the Coxless 4. We did pretty well in the Coxless 4. The Cox 4, however, there's a different boat usually for a Cox 4. You have a Coxless 4 without a cox, and then a Cox 4 with a cox, and it's a different boat. But in Ted's case, he decided to combine both of them. So, he took our beautiful, brand new boat, and he cut a hole in it, right up by the bow. And we said, "You cut a hole in our boat. What are you going to do with that?" He said, "We're going to put a coxswain in this." We're like, "Well, we don't see a coxswain." And at that moment, a wonderful woman, Carla, of exceptionally short lineage, who had experienced some dwarfism in her life, comes moving forward about this tall. And I said, "Did you cox?" She said, "What's that?" And we went out on the water for the first time in the national championships with Carla, the coxswain, in a hole in the front of our beautiful boat, balanced with some weight in the back. And as we came down the river, SB has just informed me earlier, because I wondered who had done this, that Carla was equipped with appropriate coxswain, needs, which was in fact a bottle of bubbles. And she blew bubbles as we went down the course. So I'm rowing and there are bubbles coming by me and I'm like, this cannot be happening. But it was. Ted did what he had to do, not just to win, but to get the best out of every situation. And one thing he taught me, and it sounds like he taught everybody else in this room, was that what this is all about is the best you can be, and to bring everybody to the best that they can be. And that's what Ted Nash was to me. And that is a lesson I've never forgotten, and one that I've tried as best as I could to help others remember. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Chats especially for putting this all together. There's a bunch of champions in this room. Let's celebrate.